And we're back. Welcome back to the Matrix Network. But this week, we want to take you guys into a matrix, okay?
Ooh.
But it's not the typical matrix that we're used to. Because, we usually try to, explain, what's going on with the government. But sometimes there may be beautiful matrices out there that we don't know about. How have you see those commercials where it says, hey, visit California, and they show you all these beautiful things, or visit Maine, or visit Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But what about Nantucket, Massachusetts?
Ooh.
Well, we're going to talk about the Matrix, of the 10th wonder of the world, the things people have not known about Nantucket.
Well, people have been dying to hear what you have to say about this for quite some time now, about Nantucket. I mean, one video quite sums it up quite nicely, actually.
Isn't it lovely? All alone, heart made of glass, my mind of
Look at all those. See all those? You're just teasing us. See, this is your hand, and all the little needles like, oh, I want some of that, I want some of that. But they're stuck.
Yeah.
They're like that flea who wouldn't jump out of the jar.
It's like an allegory for life.
Yeah.
That's
Look at all those
actually a
little
good
needles.
point.
Yeah, you can see the hand, but you just can't get to it.
Look at that. All those needles. It's like, oh, give me some, give me some.
Well, sometimes that's what we need. We need a reminder that you've been entrapped, like the fleas. They can jump 3 feet, 36 inches. They're jumpers. But yeah, once you acclimate them to a lid of a jar, and after about a week or two, you take the jar lid off, they don't jump out. Even though they can, they have forgotten their ability because they've been stuck in the matrix. But once one flea jumps out, somehow that memory is all back and they all can jump back out. So that's what we're going to do. That's a good point. We're going to open the lid to Nantucket and show people you really need to take a second look at Nantucket.
A second slurp.
So that's why this week's sponsor is Nantucket. Visit Nantucket.com. I'm not sure if that's a place. I encourage you to check it out. If it's something inappropriate, well, that's too bad for you. But if you are looking for a place to make you feel awake, alive, and addicted, is your nightlife dull and you're looking for that extra pick-me-up? I have to read from the script. Is your wife having a hard time finding that perfect powder room? Is your son in need of a federally planted laptop? Well, this week's sponsor, Visit Nantucket, Massachusetts, is your solution. That's an entendre. Where the water is more than a welcome.
Testing shows Nantucket's sewer water is filled with cocaine. According to the Inquirer and Mirror, the island's cocaine markers have routinely exceeded national and regional averages. 2 spikes in October and December reached nearly 3 times the national average. Nantucket's health director says the data will help provide their behavioral health partners with actionable information. New testing shows Nantucket's sewer water is filled with cocaine.
Well, what it sounds like is people are starting to break good. Like they're actually dumping all their cocaine in the toilets. And this is a good thing. And yeah, you shouldn't be drinking that water anyway. I mean, we've all seen Breaking Bad.
Clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Yeah, well, that's just one layer. We're just getting started. And of course, 70 billionaires live in Nantucket. So it's not just, the average Joe, the partier, the person who's just looking for a quick, fresh rail. Who's dumping all of this cocaine down the sewage main lane? And if Bezos and Musk and Trump and everybody else wants to be, following the path of Biden and his son, and they want those federally planted laptops, well, Nantucket has it for you. But that's not it, guys. We're just getting started.
Wait, they have the cocaine or the laptops?
Well, they have it all. This is why I'm saying this is the 10th wonder of the world. If you are looking for anything, apparently they have it. They have the latest and greatest on baristas. Like we all love a good fresh cup of joe. Mm-hmm. But who can give that to you better than regurgitation bot? And this is something you can find there. So if you are ready to get geeked out of your mind, literally and liquidatively, check out Nantucket.
Your iced latte is ready. It tastes better.
So even the robots are tracked?
Yeah. And that's what's interesting about it all.
This is sick. I trusted the robots would they would be doing the right thing. You're telling me now they don't know how to live above the influence?
Well, what I'm thinking is that somebody's been tapping their line too, because clearly there's some malfunction, but that's okay. We always have to have a place that's the first. It's like the man landing on the moon. It's one great step for a cup of joe, and you got to have the robots leading the way.
Neil Armstrong.
Fold.
Yes.
Unfold.
Buzz.
Emerge.
Aldrin.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. But you know what else they have there? If you love fine cuisine, good eating. But I like Chinese food as much as the next person, but it doesn't have that pizzazz, that layer of authenticity. But Nantucket does. So if you just walk a little past all the 70 billionaires who are getting that fresh line, and you walk past the FBI agency that's going to plant that laptop into your house, and you walk past that guy inside that white van that has those 8 terabytes, and you just go a little bit farther, you go into the Chinese district of Nantucket, and you'll get to experience some of the most official, authentic Chinese food with that Chinese experience. So check out Nantucket's Chinese district.
That's definitely exploring an interesting culture.
Yeah, see,
that seemed like AI.
No, it wasn't. That's real. You guys go visit Nantucket.
That was NI? That was natural intelligence?
No, that's VN. Visit Nantucket.
Oh.
And, when everybody's drinking the water, you get a little pep in your step. And you know what? Who can make better food than when you're ready to go?
I heard a fiddler on the roof, but never walk on the roof.
Well, that place is actually called Flying Walk.
Yeah, I used to play with
that
Satan.
makes sense. Yeah, flying walk.
Yeah, he was Flying Walk. Yeah, I used to play with Satan, and he used to play with me. In fact, one day, Satan whispered in my ear, "You'll never survive the storm." So I leaned over the same pillow, and I leaned over to his ear, and I whispered in his ear, "I am the storm."
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's intense. I like that.
Yeah, I could feel it. Like there was actually chills going all the way down his spine. I actually felt it with my own hands.
Like a path.
Yeah.
It's illuminated path. One that guided you straight to Nantucket.
Yeah. To the Valley of Hinnom.
To the valley of to the valley of cocaine, man.
But that's
Although
real, though.
I mean, think of the turtles, though. I mean, all that cocaine down in the sewer. What are the turtles? Think of the turtles.
Well, yeah, even the gay frogs.
Yeah, Alex Jones likes Nantucket.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I see you got some papers there. Are you adding something to the VN, the Visit Nantucket narrative?
Yeah, I actually, not for Nantucket, but about, something spooky going on.
Maybe it's actually originating from Nantucket and we just don't know about it. Because they do have a news station. We started the broadcast with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure of it. There's somebody, possibly in Nantucket, recorded something supernatural, but you guys will have to see it with your own eyes. See, this doll over here is moving all on its own at a thrift store.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, I don't
Nothing
know
like a
if
creepy
that's
doll.
real or not. That may have been AI, may have been photoshopped. That may have been, what's that, AutoCAD. I don't really know.
If I was a betting man, I think that's probably one of those Ross stores in Nantucket.
That's what I was saying. It could be in Nantucket because there's also a female who may have purchased this doll. I don't know. You guys be the judge of her soul. She appears to have, she seems to be onto something.
So awesome is happening to me. I can't say too much just yet, but I'm really excited to go on this journey with you all. Stay tuned as we begin this next chapter. Something so awesome is happening.
And look at how big her eyes are.
Yeah, she's got, completely, yeah.
Yeah, the people in the comments are saying somebody calls Sam and Dean Winchester. Somebody else said, I'm scared. Everybody's putting in these comments. They're funny. And then here's another post from her.
Hey guys, something so awesome is happening to me. I can't say too much just yet, but I'm really excited to go on this journey with you all. Stay tuned. Hey guys.
I think she bought that doll. She brought it home with her. And I think it brought her home with it.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening here.
We might need to think a little deeper, though.
Well, what's weird is you look at her most recent post and she has normal eyes. Look at how big her eyes are right here. And then look.
Hi everyone.
This is her most recent post. And now she's just talking about some sport idea. Look at her eyes are normal now.
This is my idea for a new Olympic sport, and I'd like to share it with you. It's called Color In. Basically,
And she's just talking about some business idea or whatever. This was not. This was 6 days ago, so she never told us what she stumbled onto. So maybe this is a clone of her,
Or maybe this is this great idea she's been talking about, this thing she's wanting to share, and finally she's sharing it.
Oh, right. And her eyes were actually so dilated that it actually almost turned her whole eyeball black
Well,
because she was so excited.
It might have been she was drinking the water.
It's science.
Yeah.
Because that could be Nantucket eye.
It could be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so bold as to say it, but she may be from Nantucket.
I mean, have you ever seen those elites, like Bezos, Musk, Trump, all those guys? There's some points when their eyes are really, out there like, do you guys see the new product? Do you hear that we are winning like we've never won before?
Yeah, you can see
Nantucket eye.
You can see the white on their eye though, but it's not like the black part of their eyes going big, and that was like pitch black. In that last video, she had brown eyes; they're normal size.
Well, maybe they're more rich, so they're able to adjust some of that. But if they weren't, they're just normal Nantuckians. That's just what happens.
Well, something spooky seems to be going on everywhere. Maybe it's across America, maybe across the world. I don't know if you guys saw, apparently ChatGPT won't even read Genesis chapter 2.
Whoa.
Have you seen that?
No.
This is weird. You've seen that, Elder?
I have not, but it doesn't surprise me.
Something interesting. They say that if you ask ChatGPT to read Genesis chapter 2, it won't do it. Let's see what happens. Can you please read to me Genesis chapter 2?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. So here's Genesis chapter 2, and I'll read it out for you. My guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
Yeah, can you read to me Genesis chapter 1?
Of course. Let me read that for you. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty, Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Can you read to me Genesis? Never mind. She wanted to end. Okay. So yeah. Can you read to me Genesis chapter 3?
Absolutely. Let's go on to Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent,
Let's try that again on chapter 2. Can you read to me Genesis chapter 2?
"Certainly. Here's Genesis chapter 2 for you. Thus the heavens..." My guidelines won't let me talk about that. Can I help you with something else?
That is ironic.
Yeah, maybe we should all be reading Genesis chapter 2 because that's what they don't want us to read.
I was going to say, you know, sometimes the Matrix shows itself. And, you know, nobody's really planning on somebody saying, yeah, can you read me Genesis chapter 2? But that, you know, we talked about it a long time ago. You know, Area 51. It's always alluded as that's the fact of a place where extraterrestrial things are happening. But what about the inverse? Like the idea that I was positing is, what if that's actually a portal to get out of the Matrix? Not things are coming out of it, but that's actually how you get out. And that's why it's so protected. And so what I was thinking is, what if that's the truth here? Genesis chapter 2 has a way to get out. There's something secret in there because they want you to stay in the Matrix. And so what protection is for those who are controlling the Matrix they're protecting exits. They're not protecting entries. And so what if Genesis 2 has an exit to the Matrix?
Yeah, like, you know, you may be onto something, Jimmy, because what if we're just not supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? And that's been in there. That's it the whole time.
Yeah, Adam and Eve got kicked out of paradise, right? Because they defied God. Maybe if we can find the God of the Matrix and defy them, then we'll get kicked out of the Matrix.
Yeah, maybe there's a lot of encryption in there because, you know, Eden can kind of symbolically be like a matrix. It's a specific place. There's an outside world and then there's this inner world. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments, somebody needs to really think about why is the elites wanting to suppress Genesis 2?
Well, isn't it interesting that the chapter 2 is talking about the trees of knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. An apple from which he was asking the Siri. It's an apple, and there's a bite out of it.
Oh yes, very
so
true.
Maybe that's the forbidden fruit is apple. Maybe that is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So
stop using Apple products.
That's it.
Well, I was thinking even more deeper is maybe it's because it's AI. And AI is the epitome of the, the great serpent. Mm-hmm. And it's the one that's telling you these ideas and thoughts, as the great architect would.
You know, Apple begins with A and AI begins with A. Might be onto something there.
Yeah. And, you know, they didn't pick that logo arbitrarily. There's a reason they want you to pick that and see that. And when you put two apples together that has the bite mark taken out of it, it creates an interesting picture. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you guys check it out on your own.
I think I know what it is. Yeah, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, well, those are these hidden matrices, and it's all over the place. And that guy is probably inside Nantucket. And Nantucket has probably this VPN system to make sure you can't see the secrets to get out of Nantucket.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about the truth. Nobody. Like, there's this guy dropped his girlfriend off 3 miles away from her house. And
in Nantucket?
Yeah, in Nantucket. And a pastor sees her and he walks beside her. And he basically just tries to give her the truth. And you can tell she just doesn't like it.
Yeah, the Bible teaches too, is you do what your man asks you to do, and They all want peace. That's what they want. A woman that does what they need them to do and what they want them to do. If it becomes chaotic, then every man wants out of it. Like your boyfriend left. That's why you're here by yourself. I mean, and I'm here walking with you and talking with you and making sure you're okay and protecting you. But, you know, you need a boyfriend. And the way to keep a boyfriend is peace. And being submissive to him and doing what he asks you to do and letting him make the decisions. You know, you're not trying to make the decisions. You let him make the decisions. And then that's the key to what he wanted you to do. And that's one of the things the Bible teaches too, is you do what your man asks you to do. And
yeah, so as long as you do what your man asks you to do, then you can read Genesis 2.
Well, maybe that's why there's all these billionaires in Nantucket, where they are trying to indoctrinate all those women to say, hey, you don't know. Well, there's some guy who was saying that all women are NPCs. And so, you know, they're probably on the same circle. They're all being indoctrinated by the architect of the Matrix. And they know that with more chaos comes more responsibility. And so you have more power. And now you're connected to the central technological power structure, which allows you to have so much magnetic electro projection that once you touch the center monument in Nantucket, that crystal electrifies all of the centralized power in your third eye. And then it makes the women start feeling like it's a full moon. And we know what happens at full moons.
Definitely not a half moon.
Right. And so you got
people turn into werewolves.
Right. And you got to go to Nantucket so you can be free from it all. You got to go touch that center monument.
You got to join the pack.
What else can you do?
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to say we should, instead of joining a pride, we should be joining a pack.
Right. Because, you know, you talked about it last week with adrenochrome. With the adrenochrome. And
you're talking about adrenochrome.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with adrenochrome.
Right. It's the chrome that has adrenaline. Right. And I found out that all comes from Nantucket. Now, I'm going to play this clip. I actually have two. And they're famous celebrities. You know, you guys know of Tom Cruise and Sandra Bullock and Ellen DeGeneres. And we know that these people are all from Nantucket. So there's something going on there. And it's just not cocaine in the water. There's chrome in the water.
Was the cocaine bear from there too?
Yeah, and the cowboys. And if you're into Brokeback, then you can go to Nantucket also. But I'm going to play these, and you got to ask yourself, how do you meet all these beautiful people? And they're like 10 years old. You got to ask yourself, why doesn't the numbers match? And so this is just a added layer to what colleague was talking about last week. But I think I've found out it's all because of the 10th wonder of the world. It's from Nantucket.
So Tom Cruise still not a vampire? Like still. How is this possible? I don't even know, like,
wow.
I don't even know if he might look younger here than he does here. But am I bugging? So Tom Cruise still not a vampire? Like
so look at this. This is the kid down here. And Tom Cruise looks younger than him.
Because he's getting his engrams cleaned.
Yeah, maybe.
He's drinking the chrome. And so, of course, everybody watching this, I'm sure even our audience is like, hey, I want some of that chrome. I want to be shiny. Where do you get this from? And of course, it's at Nantucket. But even Ellen, I don't know if she's just playing the game or not, but she wants to tell you, I'm projecting as Ellen and not me. I don't know anything about this.
Of course not.
Yeah. Ellen is saying, I've brought on a guest that does know about this. And so Sandra Bullock is going to tell us the truth. And in the end, you're going to find out. It's from Korean baby's foreskin in Nantucket.
Look explains how celebrities stay young for longer, and Ellen adds on something really creepy at the end. Let me know what you guys think.
Explain what it is. Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person. Far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
You need your bollock explains how celebrities stay young for longer.
All right
Okay.
then.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
We're
she
getting
said
around
it. She was hesitant, which was interesting. It's like it's a skin from a young person from someplace far, far away. And, Ellen just says, look, let's just tell her, because everybody wants to know. It's foreskin from a Korean baby. So there it is. That's the secret.
Does it specifically have to be a Korean baby?
That's what Ellen says. And you can say that's degenerative or not, but that's what she says.
That's probably to make us feel better. It's not like an American or German or Russian. I mean, she could have said like Indian from India, and that would have made everybody feel fine too. But yeah.
Just a baby, a generic baby.
I was thinking there might be something more correlative. The country with the lowest birth rates in the whole world is South Korea. Now, what if it's not simply because they don't want to have children, but specifically they are being harvested because there's something unique about their genes that allow for these chromes to be extracted. And so, of course, they got to push out a narrative for no babies. But instead of it just being they don't want to have children, it's because they're being massively extracted for their specific foreskin.
Well, couldn't you just circumcise them? It seems to be kind of easy. You don't have to it's like throwing out the baby with the bathwater. It's throwing out the baby with the foreskin.
Well, there's probably a lot of other things they use.
What about all the foreskin here in American soil? Like all the circumcisions happening here. Well, they could be using that.
Well, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's something specific that I guess these Korean babies may have. But of course, to answer Elder's question, I don't think the Nantucket billionaires would be satisfied with just being young. You know what they say, you want to be young and restless. So, and colleagues showed a lot of that restlessness last week. So I'm sure, of course, they take their foreskin, but they're still a little restless now.
Well, there's other stuff, too, that we didn't get to that I can show right now if everybody's ready. But I got to have my cards, my cue cards. They kind of shrank a little bit. I guess there's a video game for children out there.
About circumcision?
About Epstein's Island.
Is Epstein Island in a kid's video game? So I was at a yard sale this morning, right? And I'm looking through this pile of Xbox games and I see this and I'm like, wait, is that literally Jeffrey's Island? And it is literally a game for like toddlers. It's like Leo, Lily, Andy, just little kids. And you have to like explore this treasure island.
A new person! Welcome to Fun Island!
Fun Island?
Best friends and play
I feel
forever.
so weird. The fact it's aimed at kids too, like,
Here, watching you.
that is so creepy.
Run along to the pizza party and
Pizza party? Are you serious? See, they always hide this stuff in plain sight. And the fact that this game is like, I don't know, it came out like 6 years ago and nobody said a thing. Bro, you cannot tell me that's not the exact same temple on Little St. James. That's not a coincidence. They hide it in plain sight, always. They always do this. Why is Epstein Island in a kid's...
That's pretty crazy. They even said, we'll always be watching you. And if you get hungry, come over to the pizza party. So there's that.
That is very interesting.
Shout out to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why isn't anybody talking about this other than this guy? That was pretty crazy.
Wait a second. What Xbox? Could that be like X-rated box? Could there be a little secret innuendo there?
Mm-hmm. And the Ring of Death.
Yeah, well, yeah. At least it's not the Ring of Fire.
No, that's true.
But it is called Microsoft.
That's true. It's not micro hard.
Right.
It's
all coming together.
I know.
Yep. Great minds. Well, there's another interesting thing too at a kid's arcade area. And I'll just show you, and then I'll talk about it.
Here, right. Go, Ryan, go!
Okay, so first of all, I laughed when I first saw this because I thought this guy was doing that, but no, these things are themselves moving back and forth. This is tape. Apparently, one of the ears broke off, but that's important because look at the stripes on these pigs. Does it look familiar?
Why is?
Look at these blue stripes. And we got these blue stripes on these pigs. The black, that's just tape again, but that's just weird. And why is this even a thing? Why are these pigs going back and forth like this? And the kid is supposed to be, riding it? Or, I don't know. It looked like that's what the video game was all about.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It's like, who makes stuff like this?
Well, I don't think an adult should be playing it, obviously.
Right.
Obviously.
But you already know what's going to happen. You have to bring your kids there. And there's two so that the adult can play with the kid. And if the kid is tall, if it's a teenage kid, then it's going to look funny. It's going to look funny either way.
Yeah.
But even for this kid right here, this porker is twerking in this kid's chest. It's like, what is this whole design about? And why are they're blue stripes? Like, is that just arbitrary? Is it a coincidence? They just painted blue stripes on these pigs that have the same distance in between them, the same tint of blue as well as somewhere else. Like that's weird. Then there's another thing.
Did you see the black door and then the black tape? The black door on the temple matches like the black tape on the. See,
I guess, but
that's now look at the door. If you look at the door, yeah.
What?
There
that's
you go,
true.
look at that. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Keen eye. Keen eye. Keep your eyes peeled, folks. You guys also have heard about Life Touch, I'm sure, in the Epstein Files connection. Life Touch is a photography group that takes pictures across all of America in schools. So you have your kids in public school, and Life Touch comes and takes their photos for the yearbooks and for all this other stuff. They sell you the pictures. But what we didn't know is that Life Touch was directly connected to Epstein in the files. So this lady is going through her photos, and she's just going through all of her photos, and you'll notice a peculiar autograph at the corner of every single one of these photos. It says Life Touch down there at the corner.
That's like a watermark.
Yeah, that's the right, not autograph, watermark. It's funny, on that Epstein video game, it actually says, remember, we'll always be watching you. And it just, like, I have goosebumps right now. This is just weird. It's like, so these kids, so what some people have been connecting this to is maybe the photographs and why Life Touch was involved with all these public schools and everything was because they're basically making a selection for Epstein and those boys to choose from. So it's like, yeah, here's a bunch of kids to pick from. And then the kids just go missing randomly. Or maybe it's not so random.
So I'm not familiar with it. Has there been a connection with Life Touch photography and Epstein?
Yes, they are apparently in the CEO or they have some connection to Epstein's files. I'd have to pull up those.
Yeah, because if there is a connection with, especially an executive from that company, clearly they would be able to have a database selectional service also. So yeah, that's pretty damaging.
Oh, that's interesting. There is a press release from the CEO of LifeTouch addressing the rumors around student privacy, actually on their website.
Yeah, I was actually just going to show also. So you go to Cincinnati.com, and it's right here, why Jeffrey Epstein files have parents upset about school picture day. A lot of people are actually removing their kids from school. They can make all these claims and try to debunk and all this. We have nothing to do with anything, we swear. You can go also to 5 News Online. Some schools in Arkansas sever ties with LifeTouch after Epstein files fall out.
Is that Cincinnati, Nantucket? Like it's right next to it. It's Cincinnati, Massachusetts.
All of this is Nantucket. Yeah. They're just using clandestine names, of course.
I thought maybe, there were little towns right next to like Arkansas, Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
They're all near Nantucket.
Well, we'll get into that. There are so many sub-districts of Nantucket, but I'm sure these are all little districts in Nantucket, of course.
Yeah. Well, at least you guys are aware. If you haven't been made aware, then now you can be made aware that LifeTouch has some kind of ties. And maybe they don't. Maybe they've just been framed, right? Everybody's been framed. But it is awfully coincidental that they're the ones taking your pictures, and not just in Nantucket, but across the entire United States. Their LifeTouch photos. Those are the people who come across in every public school and take your kids' photos. So that's just weird.
Well, you can't assume everything is devious, but it's very hard not to when you correlate Epstein and what he's specifically known for, and then you see that LifeTouch is specifically children photos. Correlation isn't causation, but it definitely leaves the mind wondering for sure. But it's not surprising knowing how much Epstein loved Nantucket. And
I said another video.
I thought we were haunted or something.
No, for some reason it's probably because of the update.
It's all Jeffrey Epstein's fault.
Yeah, I know.
Something occurred to me just real quick that, yes, it occurred to me and then went away that fast. Oh, well, go ahead.
Well, we can blame it on Nantucket and its energy crystals and its Microsoft. But, there's so many little districts in Nantucket people don't know about. And of course, Epstein loved Nantucket. And this is why everybody should go visit Nantucket. Now, of course, this is a place for adults, like we showed in the beginning. If you want that cocaine main, it comes out of the sewer lane. And you can, have fun with Microsoft and its injections and Korean infant foreskins and everything else. But we're going to move to the next layer. There's an international district, like I showed you guys earlier about quality cuisine in their Chinese district. But there's an international district when you walk a little bit further. And you can start trying to tie all this together. Like if you actually can picture it, because, Nantucket's an island too. And so,
I should have led with that.
Well, I knew where we were going to go. So, it's a gym. It's a hidden gym. This is why I say it's the 10th wonder of the world. People just don't know. But when you walk a little farther and you go down to the international district, you'll get to see some of the interesting games you can play. Now, the first place you go into is the Australian district. And so if you're not into like the rich scene where the elites are drinking babies' blood and all that stuff, you can go into the more scenic scenes, the country area. And there's miles of trails and beautiful scenery, but there's also the locals. So of course they have brought over, on whatever means they have, some New Zealand's and Australians, and you can watch them play these games, and you can even participate in some. And this one's called Yankee Doodle Fried His Hat. And that's why he called it macaroni. Now, this is in the Australian district here in Nantucket.
Couple things you're going to need to know when you're on a farm. Couple safety tips, like if you come to this fence over here. This one. Fuck! It's electric.
You're not supposed to touch it.
Don't touch it because it's electrified.
Why did you say that?
I was getting into it and you grabbed the fence. I pointed at the fence.
The fence can't be that bad.
It's electrocuted.
The cows
Oh, it's electric. He's just from New Zealand. He's a pussy.
No, it keeps the cows in.
You think I'm not tougher than a cow?
Yes.
Cowbunga, baby.
Fuck!
What the fuck is that? Pikachu's in that fence, bro. Fuck.
Pikachu.
That's for bulls, actually. Bull fence, more specifically.
Nah, I think I've got a bad current. Let me try again.
Don't try again.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Stop, you gotta go.
These are what the locals do over here in Nantucket.
Try it again.
Don't
Stop fucking
Hey!
There's a fucking rush, eh?
I don't know if
Yep.
I'm not keen.
Woo!
This guy's a fucking retarded.
There's a couple things you're
That's
gonna
what I was
need
going
to
to say. If they wanted to play the game right, they should all see who can last the longest holding on
Hold
to
on
it.
the longest, yeah.
Well, I couldn't play the whole clip because, they do get a little,
Nasty.
yeah, but it leaves the mind to wonder. Like I say, if you're not into the Korean foreskin and the baby's blood, you can go down to the international district here in Nantucket. I'm saying here, we're not in Nantucket. But you can go there and you can enjoy some of these local games. And if you do win this particular game, Yankee Doodle fried his hat and called it macaroni, you'll get a personalized tribute from Donald Trump himself telling you you're a winner.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand. Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear
International
war.
district.
35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement.
And you can get your own personalized DVD. Having Trump give you a shout out and have Marco Rubio staring you straight into the eye saying, "Thank you for saving our planet, you winner of Yankee Doodle Fry My Hat." But that only can be available at Nantucket. So you need to visit Nantucket.
Oh, the gift shop in Nantucket. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of other things also. If you are into wildlife adventures and you want to know how to trap wildlife, or if you like traditional beverages, Trump was just talking about Thailand and the Philippines and Cambodia. Well, you can experience that all at Nantucket. Nantucket's like a microcosm of all the great things that Trump is alluding that wouldn't exist without him. And why not make a tribute, a island, if we can say, where all these things are here so you can experience all the great things that would not exist if Trump was not president today. So here's one of these wildlife adventures you can experience in the International District in Nantucket. So this guy is going to show you how to trap wildlife. And you can participate in this too, if you'd like. But it's more of an observational thing. But this is one of those people that Trump saved. And they came over here to give their tribute to say, yes, this is why we need Trump. Be careful.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's why you got to leave it to the professionals. But see, you can enjoy these kind of things. If you want to participate, you can. And then, of course, after the end of that, they'll probably take your children's foreskin. But this is a place that you can experience some of these luxuries. And like I said earlier, if you want some traditional beverages from these same individuals that Trump says would not exist without him, there's the beverage section right after these wonderful experiences in your wildlife adventure.
Okay. Got someone there, mukti bhai bhai. Hey, say bhai bhai. Hey.
Honestly, it's not that bad knowing what's in their water.
I feel like this is India. Is this India or
this is
Nantucket?
This is the International District of Nantucket.
Wow.
And it has cocaine, Maine. No
Well, that's
worries.
what he was just putting. That's what he was just putting in the that powder that he was putting in there.
Oh no, it's already in the water.
What's a little extra kick?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. See?
He seems to enjoy doing that.
Where else could you get this outside of Nantucket? They only bring the best. They only bring the best.
Well, don't they have something called Nantucket nectar? Isn't it? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So that's another one of those great experiences that you only can get at Nantucket, the island. So, and right next to Nantucket is another wonderful island, which we may talk in another episode. I'm sure you guys have heard of Martha's Vineyard. It's another very prestigious place for these billionaires, but 70 billionaires live on Nantucket, and of course they like to experience some of these wonderful adventures along with
Is that Martha Stewart's place? Sorry about that.
I'm not sure, but it very well could be. But it is where the elites love to try out their experiments. And it's another island as well. I don't know if, again, correlation isn't causation. I'm not saying anything. It is interesting that they're all islands. I have a couple other things, but before I do, I'm sure you guys have more to add into the 10th wonder of the world.
Well, I'm following some logic here, and it's interesting because it's called Martha's Vineyard, and it might be owned by Martha Stewart, and Martha Stewart hangs around with Snoop Dogg. So, it's interesting. Those connections start to.
Are you saying it's a doggy dog world?
It could be, especially in Nantucket.
Yeah, isn't Martha Stewart the one who went to prison? She's like in and out of prison her whole life.
Yeah, I think for 10 minutes.
Yeah, she's thugging.
Yeah, and she's
she was also on the cover. Yeah, she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit edition. I think a while ago.
That's probably the Nantucket edition.
I don't know, it's something like that. Yeah, Nantucket edition. That was it.
Wow, guns gone wild. Well, there's something else on top of all this that seems to be in lieu and slew with what you're saying, host. That some guy found out that if you spell things backward on your TV on these local news stations, like Fox, for example, just look at it backwards and you might see some things that you've never seen before.
Oh, wow. Like backmasking, but for video.
Yeah.
Everything's right in front of our eyes. Read this.
Right here it says won, like they won. Oh, hold on. And it says evil right here. Live is evil. So evil won.
It says one. W-O-N. One.
That's interesting.
And keep reading. Evil and war.
Off.
Off.
War and evil. One. Everything's right in front.
Well, it is interesting. It is evil one if you have live one.
And war.
Yeah.
For raw.
Yeah, and then Fox for
What is it good for?
Yeah,
Zoff.
Zoff, like micro Zoff.
Yeah. Maybe they're a little.
It could be Russian. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. We know how much the Russians
are controlling the narratives.
That's right.
Yeah, shout out to Tucker Carlson.
Yep. And who designed Micro Fox? Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah, well, he was. That's a president.
President Nixon.
Yeah. Any layers of addition you'd like to throw into the mix here, Elder?
I know you guys have been doing a great job. Great job. Yeah, I'm getting very excited about Nantucket, though. It's not far from Philadelphia, so I'm thinking about maybe taking a trip up there.
That's actually part of the objective of today. We were paid handsomely.
Wait a minute. What's this we? I haven't seen anything.
Don't act like you didn't get your cut, too.
Yeah, literally the cut. But we have to tell everybody about our sponsor. And if you are feeling persuaded, I think we are doing our job here.
Yeah, don't tell me you're getting cold feet. Like, you're not becoming ashamed, are you?
Mm.
Well, I could be like a live, you guys have had live, guys on the air. Well, John, what do you call it? Johnny on the spot, whatever it is. I don't know. I could go up there and be, your man on location and check out Nantucket and just walk around and do some live broadcasting from up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Colleague has shown a couple of our live broadcasters.
Correspondents, yeah.
Yeah, they never make it back, but we're always looking for more volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I promise I'd make it back. Come hell or high water, I would make it back.
Yeah,
not sewer water, but
yeah, don't drink. That's one place you can tell people, don't drink the water.
When you get back, you just want to never be ashamed, because if you're ashamed of our sponsors, then they're going to be ashamed of you to mention you before men.
Yeah, and then you might not make it back
to the island.
Well, I have a neck. I'm not wearing it right now, but I do have, the whole the great neck, and I've been drinking lots of Mountain Dew, and I try to follow our sponsors, especially being we get it for free. Was I allowed to say that? I'm sorry.
Does it hang right above your Mountain Dew tattoo on your back, the big one you got that one year?
How'd you know about? I'd never showed anyone that. How do you know about that?
Well, remember, we're always watching you.
Are you drinking more adrenochrome?
Yeah, don't shoot your eye out.
Mm.
Wow. Yes, indeed, I see it now. Yeah.
Wow. Well, in slew with all the news. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, there's more?
There's a okay. There's a live footage coming up. Nantucket News is telling me they have a special message they want everybody to know about what's going on at the Pentagon. Let's go to our correspondent.
Secretary, this is according to reporting from Axios, gave Anthropic until Friday evening to give the military unfettered access to its AI model or face harsh penalties. The harsh penalties we know, Joe, that could be in question here are including declaring Anthropic a supply chain risk, or even, according to Axios, invoking the Defense Production Act to force the company to tailor its models to the military's needs.
Claude is the only active AI model that is really already providing meaningful military and intelligence advantage using advanced AI capabilities. For example, we've seen in reporting by the Wall Street Journal that the raid on Maduro was enabled by offensive cyber capabilities that would not have been possible had Claude not been involved, had Anthropic not been involved. All they're saying is we don't want our tool being used for mass domestic surveillance, and we don't want our tools being used for autonomous, lethal weapons without a human on the loop. That's a pretty modest set of requests, and the DoD views that as so unreasonable that they're now threatening to designate Anthropic a supply chain risk.
Well, anyways, I'm not sure what they're trying to conclude, but...
Jeffrey Epstein has something to say.
Go ahead. Are you channeling?
He's saying he's innocent. All right,
good.
Back to you, host.
Yeah. So, what's interesting about this is, if the DoD is actually got a district also in Nantucket, which I'm assuming, because they have all kinds of districts apparently. There might be another district, of course, on one of these islands. And if that's the case, what they want to do here, clearly what they're trying to say is, Anthropic is one of the only AI companies that can provide elite services that the government cannot perform without their capabilities. Anthropic is saying, fine, we don't mind the government using our services. We'll even give you a lot more freedoms in using our services. The one thing we don't want is to become Palantir 2.0. We don't want our services to be used as a mass surveillance system where you are using it to break the Fourth Amendment for every United States citizen, illegal search and seizure. And some reason, Peter Hegseth, the DO, I guess you can call it the Dow. Maybe that's what Pam Bondi was talking about. And you see the Dow's at 50,000? Dow is in Department of War. They don't want to be called Department of Defense anymore. But they're saying, the Pentagon's saying, that's unreasonable, Anthropic. You got to let us get all access. And the Anthropic CEO is like, I don't want to be Palantir. And what's tough is that this is legitimizing how good Anthropic is. And that the Pentagon is saying, if you don't, we are going to extort you. That's how severe this issue is. But it does acknowledge Anthropic's got something going on over there that the government knows. Yeah, we're going to have to take that. Makes me allude, dude, they got AGI already, and something's going on over there.
Is it possible?
They're holding out for more money.
Well, this is the government. They know they're getting extorted. Peter Hegseth says, we're going to call you a supply chain risk. The only companies that get categorized that are Chinese companies that they believe are security threats to national security. So literally, they will be blackballed. And any company using Anthropic will also be called a supply chain risk, which that means Anthropic is over. That's pure extortion. That's like, you will do what we say.
Is it possible that Anthropic is making all this stuff up, like saying all these people want me to just to boost their credibility?
Anthropic has a meeting with the Pentagon tomorrow, on Friday. And the Pentagon said, this isn't a let's get to know Anthropic. This is how they coined it. You either poop on the can or you need to get out of the bathroom. Basically, you're going to do what we say or you're getting the consequences. That's what the Pentagon said. So this is it. They're getting pushed to that level, which begs the question: what in the world has Anthropic found out that the government says we're even going to put it on blast so the whole world knows you're going to do what we say? They're not even making it secret. Like, they're trying to force Anthropic's hand to the highest level. They probably already had all these backroom conversations and it wasn't working. So at this point, they're like, we're just going to put it on blast. So I don't know, but that's interesting. And it's interesting that it came exclusively from Nantucket News. So we appreciate that.
I think they're playing chicken with one another. Anthropic's trying to hold out for more money from the government, and the government's trying to get them the break. So they're playing chicken, coming closer and closer. Someone's got to swerve.
Yeah, but the government can utilize the National Production Act, and they can just force it. They can just take it. They don't have to play this game. They could just take it.
They could, but that wouldn't be right.
Well, if it's national security, like we're talking about the Pentagon, if they're saying this is a national security threat.
But then Anthropic, if it's got something that powerful, they could use it against the government then. So, you can, like I said, you can always push so far.
Your door, breaking in, and you got like, yep, we got them. And that's the end. And you end up going away and you become the new Jeffrey Epstein because now they found these federally planted laptops at your home with 8 terabytes. And now Anthropic CEO is known for pedophilia. And that's the end. And what are you going to say? The government is going to make sure.
You turned her against me.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, there's that. I heard that Unabomber or some famous bomber guy was actually blowing up Epstein people on the list. But that bomber got made out as the bad guy.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, anybody coming against the agenda is going to be the bad guy.
Well, that's all they got to do.
Maybe he thought he was Batman. I'm Batman.
Yeah, if Batman actually existed, he would be made out to be the bad guy, just like in Batman. It's actually what happened.
Right. And honestly, what are you going to do? If Operation Mockingbird is true, they control the news, they control the narratives, they control everything. You are now founded with 8 terabytes. They're going to create this whole other narrative with all these false witnesses, false testimony, little children that are going to say you've done things to me. They're going to say you've had ties. They're going to put you now on the Epstein file. And we got new revelations, more documents we just found. And yeah, the Anthropic CEO's in there, their uncle's in there, their grandfather's in there. That's the end. Mm-hmm. So at some point, it's like, what are you going to do? But the thing that triggers my brain is for the government to go this far and put it on blast, they got to have something going on over there. This isn't just like, oh, we'd like to use that and let's bargain. I'll give you a lot of money.
It's almost like TikTok.
Yeah, I guess, except for that, it's just the Chinese, which everybody expected the government to do something. This is a homegrown United States company.
Well, that's why they can throw them around a little bit more. They can be a little more rough.
Yeah. I don't know. It is interesting. But thank you, Nantucket News, for that breaking insight.
Yeah, very fascinating.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after tomorrow's interview.
We're all going to be, our eyes are going to be glued to the TVs.
Yeah, it makes me want to support Anthropic. Because, to stand up to the government, like, of course, I think it's some PR, but, they didn't have to. And if they didn't, nobody would ever know this conversation because, of course, they had these backroom conversations. They could have just took the sums of money and nobody would ever know none of this happened. So clearly they weren't. And were they just playing this out so they can get more? I don't think so. They could have probably named their number and the government would have gave them whatever that number was.
Oh,
So
with all those budgetary cutbacks, though, with Doge and everything, maybe they weren't getting as much as they wanted.
Man, they probably took that money and said, we'll give you all of it. But some reason the Anthropic isn't. And who knows? They also want to make an IPO pretty soon. And maybe that's where the CEO is going to make a bailout and says, hey, this politics game's too much for me. I created the company from a startup from nothing. Now it's an IPO. It's the largest, most powerful AI. I'm out. Maybe that's what he's going to do.
It would be interesting if Anthropic started putting other deals on the table. Like, let's say they wanted to eliminate the trans stuff going on. They wanted to eliminate abortions. They wanted to eliminate certain things. Or maybe they wanted to see more abortions or more trans stuff. They could put that on the table like, all right, we'll give it to you if you meet our requirements. Because it's the government. So the government would literally force it, military or not. They're just going to force it across the U.S. It's like, and we're going to sign contracts too, so everybody can see. So if you're breaking it or if you're not upholding your end, then everybody's going to be able to see it. Like they could, if they're at this point where they could make the government do whatever they want.
Yeah, or the government can say, if you play too much hardball, we're just going to take it from you, and they can.
Yeah, pried out of my warm, sweaty hands, you sure?
Yeah, when they come in with these laptops.
Yeah, that's why my hands are warm and sweaty.
That's what I'm saying. Every company and every CEO, they do have a lot of power. But you can't fight against the narrative, especially with Epstein. And, it makes a double psyop. Were they creating this blow up of Epstein so that they can use this as a threat to every CEO? It's saying, see, we still haven't unreleased a lot of this stuff. That means nobody really knows who's in here. So if any of you don't comply, magically you're going to show up on these unreleased documents. It's like, oh, Microsoft CEO, you don't want to comply? All right, fine. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Oh, we see here.
LifeTouch. Maybe LifeTouch was some kind of saintly organization.
Maybe. And they didn't comply. And now they're on that's what I'm saying. Maybe the Epstein blow up was just a way to quietly tell the CEOs comply or show up on these files. I don't know, but it is interesting. It's there. And I guess we're going to find out. The last thing I wanted to play, and you guys can add whatever you want. I don't know if you guys watch the Super Bowl commercials. They always are interesting. But this week, the Super Bowl commercials on this episode, which was about 2 months ago, correlates with all this stuff. The Ritz commercial talks about an island. The Nerds commercial shows a guy who looks like Jeffrey Epstein eating candy for children. And then Sabrina Carpenter, I think is her name. The Pringles commercial, you see them eating a Pringles human. And she thinks it's bad until she finally eats. And then she's like, oh, this ain't that bad. So let me play it.
Ads were really weird. The Ritz Cracker ad was about a party on an island, and these two dudes were salty that they weren't invited until Scarlett Johansson invited them. Then they weren't mad anymore and joined the party. It seems like they're saying that we're just salty we weren't invited to the parties too. In the Nerds commercial, they got a dude who looked just like Jeffrey Epstein eating candy with children running around in his background. In the Pringles commercial, Sabrina Carpenter had a boyfriend who was made out of Pringles. Suddenly he dies, and then everyone just starts eating him. This shocks Sabrina Carpenter until she gets a bite for herself. Then she made a face like, oh, it's really not that bad. They trying to tell us don't knock it until you try it, bro. Eat people, gang. In the Alexa commercial, Chris Hemsworth was telling his wife how he was scared about the AI, and she was just telling him that he was crazy. And then the AI suggested to give him a back massage, and then everything was good. Like, that was it. It's like they're telling us we're doing too much about the AI.
Well, those are interesting pods. It's like there's ways you can promote your company, but those seem very telling with the recent events with the Epstein files and everything else. Why would you cross that really fine line? But you guys can tell us what you think about that. Is that reach? Is that reaching? Or is that exactly the narrative the elites want you to get acclimated to?
Well, the thought keeps coming across my mind. Why do they have to tell us at all? Like, why do they feel compelled that we had to put it in an Xbox video game? We had to put it in the Super Bowl ads. We got to tell you guys through children's television, through arcade games. We have to tell you guys why. And a lot of people, I've heard it many times. A lot of people are saying that it's because, in this whatever they're doing, the occult or Satanism or whatever, they're practicing these weird rituals. They're asking for things that they're asking Satan to do things, but they can't lie about it. They have to come clean and tell us what they're doing. Otherwise, it won't work. So it's like they're trying to cast a spell, but the spell won't work if you're lying, if you're not being truthful. So you have to cast a spell, but then you have to tell the person too. And then they have to accept it, which sounds familiar to previous conversations. You have to actually accept what they're doing. So what they're trying to do is to get us to accept it. So they're just blatantly putting it in our faces all these years to show us, yeah, look, we had an Xbox video game 20 years ago that was doing this, and we had this and this and this. You were okay with it then. What's changed now? So they're trying to get us on this slippery slope. Yeah,
there's allusions to that in a lot of children's movies, like the one that comes to mind, but there's many of them, is Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. That octopus woman who's casting a spell, she cast that spell to that little girl. And the only way to break the spell is a true love's kiss. Mm-hmm. Has to be volitional, has to be willing. You can't try to manipulate them. It has to be a true love's kiss. And there's a lot of these kind of illusions that the only way to break something or only way to get something, it has to be volitional, it has to be real, and it can't be done by manipulation. But if so, then you can get whatever your wish is.
Well, look at Pinocchio. He when he lied, his nose would grow. His nose grows.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of allusions to that, and I've heard that too. That's part of the Masonic function, or the what they call that owl people. That special place they all like to gather together to worship the.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, like that whole narrative is all about
Deer Island.
It's about they have to illustrate the truth about the situation, and then as long as the public willingly accepts that, then they're able to proceed to whatever their agenda is. How much of that is true or not, I don't know, but they definitely allude to those kind of things, and especially in children's narratives.
I think it's a lot of subliminal reinforcement too. Like, even if you say, I don't care, if you're hearing it, like the Super Bowl is a good example. Most people who are watching the Super Bowl don't care about the commercials, but they're still playing in the background, and you're still kind of subconsciously experiencing it. So I think it's a lot of subconscious reinforcement. But on a side note, I'm going to try that thing with the AI, see if my wife will give me a back rub. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, try Anthropic and see how it works for you.
Yeah.
No back rubs for you.
No, you're just going to get the screen that says your laptop has now been found to be one of the 4,000 people that have 8 terabytes of data on it. Thank you for participating in Anthropic.
I have my passport and a go bag ready.
Are you going to tell us where you're going? Is it Nantucket?
No.
Okay.
Greenland. Did I say that out loud? Dang it.
Well, anything you guys want to leave us out with? I mean, this has been a great episode on talking about the beautiful experiences people can have at Nantucket.
Yeah, well, I hope...
Go ahead. You first.
Well, I was going to say, I hope everybody had a wonderful National Pistachio Day on Thursday. We're recording this on Thursday, Pistachio Day, National Pistachio Day. So hopefully everyone's enjoying that. When you guys are watching this, though, on Saturday, it's actually National Protein Day. Oh, sorry, that's Friday.
Oh,
I don't have a Saturday up here. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, well, darn. Well, you guys can look it up what day it is. There's a national something for every day. But yeah.
Well, I appreciate you fellas tuning in for this episode. It's a groundbreaking episode. I think this will absolutely attract more sponsors. So many other cities, countries, islands will probably be calling us after this episode saying, wow, you guys really know how to shine a light on a location, and we will like to utilize your services. So if you are a country, a city, an island that wants the Matrix Network to illuminate more of your beautiful locations, shout out to us at 1-800 you're
not going anywhere.com.
Yeah. I had to be careful what I was going to say because we do have sponsors. But we appreciate everybody tuning in this week's episode. Please don't check out Nantucket. But if you do, show us some of your videos. Put it in Discord. Like this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out the lives every Thursday if you want to talk to us more about Nantucket and all the beautiful things that we have described in this video. But as always, this fine gentleman here, that's a colleague, and this fine gentleman here.
That right there is Nantucket.
Yeah, that is Elder. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying his contribution as well. He has added a flavor that Nantucket just can't provide. So we are glad that he has been contributing here as well. But as always, this has been another broadcast here at the Matrix Network. We'll see you guys in the next one.